How can I make a video about something I see online and the same day, couple hours later, one of them blog pages then post it up? So man saw a video on YouTube, a few black brothers and that, and they're talking about getting robbed for their jewels and their watches and that. And I made a video about it. Now, during their video, little podcast thing, they're talking about when they go to clubs, it's not safe for them to go to the toilet by themselves. Under no circumstances. When their man is wearing their 20, 30, 40k AP, Rolex watch, Breitling, whatever you want to call it, it's not safe for them. They're not in an environment where it's safe for them to go to the toilet on their own. Because I've had man say to me before, innit, like, the toilets, you don't go there by yourself if you got a big chain or watching that, because that's where most of the robberies occur, innit? Because all it takes is for you to be in the toilet and man just back out a shank on you. Well, where are you running to? Man's gonna push it in your chest, innit? So, well, there's the fear of a man pushing it in your chest, innit? So a lot of man's gonna hand over their jewels. So, you know, the toilets, and that's where you're gonna get caught slipping. It's not safe to go in on your own, innit? So you go there with a man or two. Even that, I'm gonna even touch on that afterwards. So anyway, see this podcast, the man there talking about having to go to the toilet with their brethren and that because it's not safe. Then when they leave the club, they don't leave the club on their own to go to their car. They have to leave with 5 man. Furthermore, when they pull up to the club, they don't park wherever they park their car in a way where they could just jump in and drive out. None of this, if something kicks off and they have to run to their car, no reversing, no. Just straight jump in and drive out. And I'm saying in this video, and I'm thinking about it now, like in my head, it's like, I've made videos about this before. This ain't got nothing to do with being a victim or getting jacked and that. But if you have to go, if you, on your way to this establishment, on making preparations to this establishment, this rave, this party, this shoots, this house party, whatever in it, if you feel like you need to go there with a knife to this party, this establishment and that, because potentially there could be trouble, don't go. That's what I said in previous videos. This is to do with gang violence and these man, they could be there so it could kick off like that. But the same goes with this situation. If you feel like when you're going to this establishment, this certain establishment, if you can't go there with your watch and that, blood, don't bring your watch. If you feel like you could become a victim if you go to this establishment with your watch, blood, don't bother take your watch there, fam. Because you just put a target on your back or a target on your wrist. Why do you feel like you need to go to an establishment, to a rave party, whatever, in it, a dance, with a 30, 40 grand watch? I'll tell you why. People got the need to impress and the need to suppress people. They need to impress people. Yeah, man, I got a 30 grand watch and that. Or they need to suppress people. Yeah, I want to be the biggest and the baddest. You get me? I want to be known as the richest man. You get me? The most drippiest man, bust down, whatever you want to call it, in that club, in that rave, in that shoops. But you got a small mind. Man posted a comment underneath this blog page's video where they took a snippet of that same thing that I'm talking about. The same video, posted on the blog page, and that I put a comment underneath. And I was saying, like, you know, this is the reason why us black people are behind and that. Like, we got the mentality where we want to show off in front of people and that. Why are you going to establishment with broke people? Why are you wearing a 20, 30, 40 grand watch in an establishment with broke people and that? A man that does that is a man with the mindset of big fish in a small pond syndrome. You do that, you got the mindset of wanting to go to an establishment with a 10, 20, 30, 40k watch to impress and suppress the broke people around you, bro. You got big pond, small fish mentality syndrome, blood. Literally. Like, why are you going to an establishment wearing a 20, 30 grand watch when there could be people in there that could rob you? You see, man are not checking it. Man are not pre the situation for what it is. You're raving around broke people. If you're so rich that you can wear a 20, 30, 40 grand watch, Why are you not in an establishment with CEOs, entrepreneurs? Why? Why are you not in an establishment where there's no VIP section? Everybody in that establishment is a VIP. So if you're rich enough to buy a watch and afford a watch that's worth 20, 30, 40 grand, why are you not in an environment where you're rubbing shoulders with man who's entrepreneurs and CEOs and that? Why are you around broke people? When you're in them situations there, them environments, them establishments and that, just being in those sorts of environments and establishments, entrepreneurs and CEOs and them man there, that filters out, that stops anyone being in that establishment that's got the mindset to rob you. Do you know why? Because everyone can afford a 20, 30, 40 grand watch. That's like trying to own a castle or own the biggest house in a broke area. Why are you trying to look richer than everyone else? There's certain people, they would rather buy a £1 million house, a £1 million 5-6 bed detached house in Tottenham, rather than buy a £1 million semi-detached house in Loughton, where they can just mix and blend in with everyone else. Why you feel the need to have to stand out for and put a target on your back, blood? I never understood this mentality. You know, like these people that man always talk about, these flashy people and that. Why they feel like they need to stunt on people? Why they feel like they need to show everyone that they got money and that? Brands. Foolishness. I had a tenant today, you know. So basically, some of the tenants are a bit evasive. They don't want us to come and do the test. Not because they're growing weed, or maybe one or two of them might be, but they just got anxiety issues and that, and they're fucked in their head, they're mad. Remember, this is social housing. Where do the crazy people live? They're not gonna live in no detached 5-bed houses that's been handed down throughout the generations. No, they're gonna live in council houses and that. So boom, man phoned up this girl and told her, listen, yeah, I'm coming at 2 o'clock and that to do the test. This is like your 3rd letter warning and that, blah, blah, blah. This girl starts getting abrasive and evasive and that. And I must have said to her, well, when I come, I need to turn off the power and that. So just to let you know, because I know some people, they work from home. She must have misinterpreted that and they said, listen, yeah, just because I live in a council house, that don't mean I'm some bum who don't work and stays at home all day. You see, when people are abrasive and evasive and that, they will misinterpret your words. I never said to her, under no circumstances, you might be sitting at home all day. But because a woman wants to try and fly off the handle and want to try and avoid doing the test and that, because somebody's tenants is crazy, they got anxiety issues and that, they don't want to let you in the house. They want to use any excuse to cause an argument. But man diffused the situation over the phone and I actually end up going to her house. So she pushed the test back an hour. It's supposed to be at 2 o'clock, you know. This is like her 3rd, 4th letter warning. She's not even really allowed to be doing that. But you know what? Man's a cool brother, plus I'm on price work and that. So it's within my best interest to do this test. So I let her push it back by an hour. Well, anyway, I couldn't even get there at 3 o'clock. I phoned her up and said, listen, I'm going to be there around about 4:30. She said, all right, cool. Gone to the yard. The yard is mad. It's not a dirty house. It's not a dirty yard. It's not a dirty yard. But I could tell by the way the house is that this woman has some issues in that, because there's just stuff all over the place. There's a difference between people who are just messy and a bit dirty and that. Nah, I could tell in her mind, her house was a true reflection of the chaotic environment, the whirlwind that's going on in her brain and that. Not to mention the holes in the walls and that. So imagine, the woman lives in the council house. She said to me on the phone, because I said to her, they're going to fine you and that. She's like, listen, I'm not paying no fine, I don't care. When I got to the house, I was talking to her about the fine and that. And I said, listen, miss, that was not a threat. They would fine you, you know. She's like, listen, if they fined me, I wouldn't care. That can go with all the rest of the parking tickets and that. You know, someone that just racks up bare debt. So imagine, she won't pay the fine. Yeah, she wasn't willing to pay the fine if there was a fine. She don't pay no parking fines and that. This is a person I could tell is in massive amount of debt because it's a woman. There's holes in the wall. The yard is mad because it's just mad chaotic and that. But best of all, guess what? She's wearing Givenchy fucking sliders. Balenciaga t-shirt. I'm not making this up. 110%. Givenchy sliders. Balenciaga t-shirt. Why? Why are you not focused on buying a property? Why are you focused on brands and that? Why are you living in a council house but you're trying to... You see this girl here, yeah? Her face was mad spotty, like she has acne problems. But minus the acne problems, yeah? If she had clear skin, oh, she would have been a hot thing, 110%. I could just tell by looking at her. She was just wearing a t-shirt, probably nothing underneath it. Some of these tenants is mad, you know. I've had gal turn up to the door when I phoned them and told them I'm gonna be there soon in a towel. And I had to say to them, miss, you need to go and put on some clothes, you know. Anyway, you could tell that this girl, like, she looks like one of them, you know, one of them girls from Towie and that. One of them proper trendy people and that. She could have been a hot thing and that. Minus all the acne problem and that, because she had a bad acne problem. Like, she wanted people get their lips done, all them kind of foolishness and that. You could tell like she puts a lot of effort into her image and that. And it just baffles my mind, innit? You're like, why people are so fixated on their image, how the world sees them and that. Why can't they just dress normal? Why do they have to dress like mad extravagant and that? I just don't get it. Even dumb stuff like, why are you wearing Givenchy sliders in your yard? You know how much them sliders they cost? £200-300, no? Why? I'm not saying don't treat yourself here and there, but I know this is like a regular thing. This ain't, oh, once in a while, man, I buy Givenchy or Balenciaga or whatever sliders. Now, this is a reoccurring thing. People waste their money on foolishness. I see a video the other day on Instagram where the French Montana was showing off his car collection, and there's this black brother, big man, you know, big Ras Clark man, mid 30s to 40s, yeah, wearing a fucking Louis Vuitton rucksack. But you're a big Ras Clark man. What are you doing wearing a Louis Vuitton rucksack and you're 35, 40 years old? Blood, let me tell you something right now, yeah? If you're a big man and you're 35, 40 years old and you're under the height of 5'9", 5'8", you should not be wearing no damn Louis Vuitton rucksack. You know what you look like? You look like a youth that's having non-school uniform day, fam. What are you doing, blood? Big man don't wear a rucksack. And if big man do wear a rucksack, it's a Jan Sport or something. You know what I'm saying? Innit? Like a workman, like, you know, someone who's going to work and that, they wear them things there. Big man, even man that's got money, don't wear them foolishness there. Why? I can never imagine my stepfather, big Ras Clark, 50-year-old man, wearing a Louis Vuitton rucksack. That's how you know, yeah. I'm telling you right now, yeah. You see all these brands thing, wearing brands and that. But that's a youth man mindset, you know. You're a youth. You think like a youth. I tell you how I know it's a youth man thing. Alright then, cool. If you don't believe me, it's a youth man thing. Look at your family members who's 50 years old, 60 years old and that. What would you think of your mum who might be 50, 60 years old, or your dad who's 50, 60 years old? Imagine your dad or your mum came in the yard one day, dressed head to toe in Gucci and that. You think, if I was around my mum's yard and my stepdad come in the yard wearing Gucci trainers and a Gucci hat, fam, brother, you alright? Seriously, fam. Wearing brands and that, that's a youth man thing. Adults think logically and that. Youths and dumb people that don't know how to manage their finances and that, they focus on stupidness like wearing Balenciaga, Givenchy, Gucci and LV. I'm not saying to have not to have no accessories. I'm not saying to not ever have this thing, but make sure you can afford it. Make sure you got your children's education patterned. Make sure you're not in a council house. You see, it's easy and it makes the person then feel better to wear all of these Gucci and all them things there, innit? But what's it doing for them really? What's it doing for them long term? What's it doing for their youths? They're doing it to get validation from the people. They're trying to pretend that they got money and that. Name me the first and last time you saw Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos wearing all the things there. And I know them man, they ain't got much swag, I get it. But still, man, them that got real money, bruv, you don't need to show it. You don't need to show it. It's a youth man thing wearing all them Gucci and all them thing there. What's wrong with wearing a £1,000 watch? A little Louis Vuitton or LV watch. That's cool. But why do you need to wear a 15, 20, 30, 40 grand watch in a club full of broke people? If you can afford to wear 20, 30, 40 grand AP, Rolex watch, Breitling watch, why are you not amongst other people that are that rich so that you could just blend in with them? You're just a broke man with an expensive piece of jewelry on your wrist. Man, them that's got the mindset of becoming wealthy and that, they don't waste their money on watches. All of these man that got these 20, 30 grand watches, ask them, make that request to see their ass property portfolio. They ain't got one, blood. Do you know why? Because the outside world cannot see where they live in, how they live in. The outside world cannot see their portfolio, but they can see the watch on their wrist. Spoke about this in videos before. There's man driving their car, filming, you know, with their left arm on their steering wheel, driving, filming. But why are you driving, filming your left arm on your steering wheel when you're a right-handed driver? If you drive a car right now, a lie if you drive using one hand, you'll use your right hand, which is your dominant hand, your righted hand, the hand that you have more control over. I'll tell you why they're using their left hand, their weak hand, their less dominant hand. Because their left arm is the arm that they use, that they put their watch on. So they're filming to show their Rolex watch, blatantly or on slide. These people are fucking idiots out here, blood. I don't know. Maybe I'm a man that just really out of touch with this fashion thing, but it's immature. It's immature. If your mindset is solely about fashion, you're immature sheep. Literally, man. And then these people will sit back. Because I'm telling you, there's man my age, yeah? And even probably man that I know that is focused on Rolex watches and AP watches and that. And, you know, Balenciaga and Tom Ford and all this, wearing Tom Ford t-shirts in the house, kind of nonsense and that. And in a couple of years' time, man gonna sit back and say like, rah, you know what, Jay's got 3-4 properties, you know, and I ain't got nothing. Man still living in a council house, and my brethren that man know from way back, it's got 3-4 properties. How did he do it, fam? Man would be scratching their head. Man would be scratching their head. But there's nothing to scratch your head about. Man just applied myself and didn't bother about nonsense. See, man will wear all these Gucci, Givenchy, Balenciaga and that to attract gal. The same gal that you get their number and they're playing games. Yeah? You get their number, they're playing games, but you text them and they replying back the next day and that. You ask them out on a day, oh, when you free next week or whatever to go out and that. They'll air your text, hit you up a couple days later and that. Yeah, so just continue, just, oh, how you been and that. Hold on a minute, man, I'm not sure about it, get me. Man, they're making too much effort for these gal, man, they're making too much effort to impress people. I've had, man, plenty of times, I'm at the traffic lights in my little black Honda Civic. Black man pull up next to man in his Mercedes and that. You get me? Yeah? Looking over at man and that. It's like, blood, what do you want, fam? You want a gold medal? You're trying to show off and stunt in front of me. You don't know me. You don't know my age. You don't know nothing about me. You don't know my name. You're never going to see me again. But you want that validation for 10 seconds. Foolishness, man. I will never subscribe to this fake, flashy, pretentious lifestyle. It's foolishness. It's sheepish. It's immature. It's the big fish in a small pond syndrome. Stay wise, done now.